Today, I want to give you permission to stop taking yourself so seriously. In fact, this might end up being permission for you to be useless. Now, I use that word very specifically because for most of my life, I have struggled with this need, this almost neurotic need to be useful for people. And I'll get to this why that happened in a little bit, but first I want to talk about how this even came up. So I discussed in a previous YouTube video about my most recent mushroom experience and how it showed me a lot of things, but in the context of this video, that the next step in my personal evolution is to write and share concepts and ideas online. This is something I've wanted to do for 12 years, and the conviction just came all at once during this mushroom trip. And so I actively started writing and publishing things on Substack, but it didn't take very long for that to become very heavy, and I got to a point where it was just like difficult to keep writing about stuff, and I think I figured out why. So for context, I'm obsessed with non-duality, metaphysics, and psychology, and exploring and learning about and implementing all these things I've learned over the past 12 plus years has fundamentally changed my understanding of myself, reality, and what is even possible. So when I took up writing about these things, I got really obsessed with trying to make them come across as impactful as they have been for me. Like, I see these concepts as vitally important, like life-altering topics, and I wanted to approach them in an equally impactful way and make sure that they actually landed in the reader's mind whenever I was writing about this with a great impact, because I wanted to help people just like the people who were talking about and writing about these concepts over time have helped me. But I got stuck in this cycle where I would rewrite and re-edit the same piece over and over again, to the point where I would lose the plot, question everything that I was even talking about, decide that it wasn't ready to share, and move on to the next thing, only to have that same cycle repeat itself. It is maddening. It made publishing feel impossible, and it made this thing that I've been wanting to do for so long just like keep feeling further and further away. And at this point, understandably, most people would assume this is a problem of perfectionism. And to some extent, I do agree with that. However, I think there's something else underneath the surface that is creating the symptom of perfectionism, and that is something I want to explore. So I was talking about this with my wife, and one of the things that she asked me is, who are you to decide what's meaningful? And this really got to me, because I've been trying to approach all these concepts with this understanding that these are very meaningful for me, and I want them to be meaningful for other people as well. But as always, she is right. Meaning is relative, and something that I have assigned to these topics because they are meaningful to me and me alone. Like, obviously there's people who are also interested in these things, but me trying to force that meaning onto other people by writing about it and making sure it had this impact on people was me trying to like force this thing. And so I started thinking about all the things in my life that are technically meaningless. Like, they're not changing the world. Like, I love the X-Files. It's not an objectively meaningful show, but it lets me switch off my brain and enjoy myself while I do chores around the house or while I'm sitting on the couch on the weekend. But I hold everything I create to the exact opposite standard that I hold my favorite TV show to. And while we were talking about this, my wife asked me then, why is making an impact on others the only thing that counts? Why can't the impact be on you? Why isn't that enough? And that really hit me hard because, again, she is right. And I do know why this happened. It's basically a survival mechanism. Growing up, I was only safe to be seen when I was being useful to others, when I made the family look good, when I kept myself and my problems quiet to not add to the chaotic environment of my household. And, a lot of these tiny things and large things added up to create a message that was very clear that my existence had to be justified. I'm not allowed to just take up space. I have to earn that space. And so I came to believe that my value is derived from fixing others, from nurturing others, making them happy, and making their life better rather than just existing as my authentic self. In other words, somewhere along the way, my usefulness fused to my worth, and I became terrified of being insignificant or wasting people's time. And all of that trickled down into everything that I did, but including these things that are very important to me. So this was never a writing problem. It was a self-worth problem, and perfectionism was just one of the symptoms of this. But naturally, this created a situation where writing every post through this lens of survival logic is absolutely exhausting and not fun, and nothing ever gets published, and my dreams never come true. And obviously, this is not what I want to do. I used to make art and write because it was fun and I enjoyed it, without even anyone being able to see what I was, drawing or painting or writing about. But all of those things got tainted with this survival logic where all of it has to be meaningful, and I have to justify everything that I am putting out there. And the reality is that there is a sadness underneath this experience, this sadness that I can't just be my silly self and just say what I want to say when I want to say it. And this is the reason why I've been holding myself back for decades at this point. So, going back full circle, I've been wanting to share things online for around 12 years now. It's been this compulsion that for whatever reason I just can't shake. It just feels like innate in me to want to express in this kind of way. And maybe that's the only thing that matters, is that it wants to be expressed. This is the universe even wanting to express itself through me. And I really just want to go back to being an artist, not this performer of worth. I don't want to keep living from this survival paradigm, and I want to just create. And that's one of the reasons why I did this YouTube series, this 30 videos in 30 days, because it was just ripping the Band-Aid off of this perfectionism, this need to show up in a certain way, this need to talk about things in such a structured, impactful way, to just say things, to just express myself finally. And I've done more to share my thoughts online than I have in the past 12 years. It's been a crazy ride. But the whole point of this is that you can't manufacture impact, and you can't manufacture meaning in other people. And there's a Rick Rubin quote that really is a perfect example of this. And he says, "The audience comes last. I'm not making it for them. I'm making it for me. It turns out that when you truly make something for yourself, you're doing the best thing you possibly can for the audience." And that is the energy I am trying to embody now. And frankly, it's been challenging because this is new, but it feels more like invigorating. It feels more exciting, and I still get stuck in the perfectionism trap, but not nearly as much as I was before. And, going through these, I think I'm on day 27 or 28 right now. Going through all these days has been just like so eye-opening in terms of how much I've been holding myself back. And a lot of that was just because I was trying to be valuable to other people, even like coming from a business background of like providing value, adding value pricing, everything is about value. And when it comes to art and creating and expressing yourself and writing and all these things, like the value is what it does for you. Obviously it's good to make an impact on other people, but that is not the reason why artists do what they do. They have to make it. It is a compulsion. It cannot be stopped. And so I urge you to create for yourself again and to allow yourself to be useless to other people. Like, make stuff that you like just because you like it, and have that be the value it provides to your life. And if it does provide value for someone else at some point now or in the future, that's cool. But again, like Rick Rubin says, it's a side effect, not the ultimate goal. And if you are able to do that, please let me know in the comments how it has shifted in you, your ability to make things or to show up how you want to in the world or online or both. As always, I'm sending you all the good vibes. I hope you have a good day, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.